This recording has led to substantial improvements in self-discipline for most people who have listened to it. People who want to be really great in the future are ready to give up things now to make sure they have that future. People are willing to make sacrifices like staying up later, working harder, and putting in long hours. They're also willing to invest and save their money even though they don't have much because they know that the interest will keep adding to it over time. They're ready to spend a huge amount of time on their kids because they know that the time, love, care, and support they give will pay off for decades and even into the lives of their kids, children, and grandkids. So, sacrifices are very important. Sacrifice means that you can control yourself and wait to get what you want in the short term so that you can get much better things in the long term. We say that self-discipline means mastering yourself. Right now, the benefit of being self-disciplined is clear. A lot of people think, well, geez, I get these rewards way down in the future. But there is a reward right now. You are not punished for your sins, but by them, says a great line in spiritual development. This means that the bad things you do hurt you right away, but the good things you do also reward you right away. This is what we know. Self-discipline makes you like and respect yourself more. And you and I both know that the more you like, respect, and value yourself every minute, do you think you're a good person, approachable, successful person, the better your attitude and reaction to other people will be. Within, you are content. You actually like yourself more, your self-image gets better, and you see yourself as a better person when you are self-disciplined and do what you know you should do, even though it is tempting to do something fun and easy. Of course, you know that how you feel about yourself affects how well you do. The mental image of yourself will match the person you show up as. And the great thing is that when you practice self-discipline, like when you work hard or exercise, your brain releases endorphins. Endorphins are known as nature's happy drug because they make you feel good. It makes you happy to be controlled by yourself and do the right thing. In the present, you feel good about yourself, and this can have a huge impact on your future. The good news is that you can learn to be self-disciplined with practice and repeat. When you do the same thing over and over, it becomes a habit. Successful people have habits that help them be successful. One of the most important habits of successful people is being able to force themselves to do what they know they should do right now. Also, it's great that if you do it over and over, it finally sticks. Now, a lot of people get into the habit of looking for shortcuts, taking the easy way out, and other similar things. This makes them comfortable doing things that are bad for their long-term future, and they don't want to finish projects or start their most important jobs. Self-discipline will be easier to practice when you are in a new comfort zone than when you were used to taking the easy way out. Philosopher Goethe said that everything is hard before it's easy. Prior to becoming easy, everything is hard. So it's hard to get into the habit of self-discipline. Be kind to yourself, because you'll slip up all the time. You'll keep going backwards for the rest of your life. This battle needs to be fought by you. There's no way to make it last forever. When your alarm goes off in the morning, you think, should I stay in bed a little longer, or should I get up? Also, whenever you look at your list of things to do, you ask yourself, should I start with the most important thing, or should I do something fun and easy, like talk to a friend or make a phone call? Today is based on the decisions and choices you make. What you do determines what happens. How good your life is depends on how well you do in tests. It all starts with being able to think straight. Thomas Edison said that the hardest thing to do is to think. We are surrounded by so many things that take our attention away that it takes real effort to think. It always amazes me how deeply people are listening when I walk down the street, fly, or drive. They're watching TV, listening to music in the car, and using their phones to do electronic things. They can't stop flooding their brains with sense information. It's also hard to think clearly when you're doing that. You need to practice a few things in order to think clearly. Firstly, as Peter Drucker said, you need to give yourself time to think. You need to set aside long periods of time that don't break up. For the most part, choices made quickly are bad ones. When it comes to people or money, especially, choices made quickly are often the wrong ones. You should really think about a choice that will affect you for a long time before you make it. It's like looking at a beautiful piece of china. You give it a lot of thought and look at it from every edge. Furthermore, the more deeply you consider a choice, the better that choice will be when you finally make it. How many times have you said, "I wouldn't have done that if I had just thought about it a little more. I would not have done that if I had just thought less." Or, "I would have taken the time to think." Well, smart people learn to take their time when making big choices through experience, even if it's painful. To build the habit of clear thinking, one of the best things you can do is to be alone for 30 to 60 minutes when you have a big problem or issue in your life. Throughout human history, solitude has been found to be the most effective way to think. So, think of a bucket of water that has silt in it and is all mixed up so that you can't see anything. There will be silt in the water at first, but if you leave the bucket of water alone for a while, it will clear up. This is what happens to you when you're alone. There is no noise, no distractions, and nothing to read, so you just sit quietly by yourself. It takes a lot of self-control the first few times you do it. After about 25 or 26 minutes, your mind is clear, and the answer to any problem you've been working on just comes to you. You just get the answer to any problem you've been having. It's basically a miracle. You can access your superconscious mind and instincts when you practice silence. Suddenly, something you've been struggling with or having trouble with becomes clear, and you know exactly what to do. Here's the great thing about being alone. Anyone who does it will tell you how great it is. For those of you who have never done it before, do it once today. Allow your mind to calm down by sitting alone for 25 minutes, 30 minutes, or even an hour if you can. Simply allow yourself to relax and think. This is sometimes called mind relaxing, and wonderful things will happen. As you do this, you'll begin to hear what is known as the still small voice within. This voice will sometimes scream at you so loudly that it will amaze you. Another way to think more clearly. Whatever trouble or situation you're dealing with, write it all down. Paper is required to write your thoughts down. Create on paper. Write down everything. What happened, how it happened, what's going on, the problems, the worries, how much it will cost, who is involved, etc. Just write it down, and something amazing takes place between the hand and the head. Sometimes the right choice just jumps out at you as you're writing down all the details. It gets easier to see. But that's superconscious. That thought would not have come to you if you hadn't written it down. You know, Aristotle once said that the best thing a person can want is knowledge. He said that wisdom, which means being able to make good choices, comes from both experience and thought. Combining experience and thought. That is, you have an experience and then think about it and ask yourself, what does that experience mean to me? What am I supposed to do with that? What is it teaching me? Going for a walk is the best way to think about what you've been through. If you want to go for a walk, don't bring an iPod or anything else with you. Just walk for 30 or 60 minutes. A lot of great ideas for improving your thinking will come to you while you're talking and thinking about something at work or at home. That person should be someone you trust and like, and you should tell them about it and ask them to give you their opinion. If you're in a good relationship, the other person can sometimes see things from a completely different angle. If you want to think more clearly, especially when you're upset or having trouble, ask yourself, what are my assumptions? What might not be true about what I think I know about the situation? Would I change my mind about this relationship, this job, this product or service, or this investment if I found out that my basic beliefs were incorrect? Also, the most important thing for good thinking is to be ready to do something new. You should be willing to admit that you might be wrong and do something new. In turn, that broadens your thinking and views, letting you see many more options that you might not have perceived before. That's why the first practice is clear thought. The most successful, happy, and wealthy people in our culture follow this routine. All right, my old friend, the second big practice is setting daily goals. You will change your life if you set goals every day. Why is that the case? We know that being focused and concentrating is important for getting things done. There are skills that can help you be successful, but the most important ones are attention and determination. We recommend that if you can't attend or focus, you find work with someone who can. You can get better at being able to focus and also at focusing on what you want by practicing these habits or practices. You start by making it a habit to set goals every day. Start by asking this question. Now comes the important question. What do I want to do with my life? I want to spend my life doing something important. What am I doing here? In a perfect world, what would I want to do with my life? There is also a great question that can help you understand this better. Stress and worries keep most people from clearly deciding what they want to do with their lives. By asking yourself this question, you get rid of all your problems. What if I got $10 million in cash today, tax-free, in the bank, but at the same time, the doctor told me that you're going to die in 10 years? For 10 years, your health will be great, but you'll die in that time. There would be no money worries if you had $10 million in the bank and 10 years to live. What would you really want to do with your life? What do you want to do more or less of? Something you would start or stop completely. Where would you go, or what would you do? Just think about what it would be like to have 10 million and 10 years to live. As I already said, most people worry about what they don't have and what they can't do, which keeps them from choosing what they really want. Now, get a spiral notebook. Always with me is a spiral notebook. Write down 10 things you want to do in the next 12 months or so in a spiral notebook. Put your goals in the present tense, like they're already true. Follow the 80-20 rule, which says that the most important things on your list are the ones that are worth 80% of what they are worth. It's the hardest to learn this subject. That's what I teach all over the world. This is the key to making your life and achievements even better. Your life will go through the roof if you can make a list every morning, organize it by importance, and stick to the most important job until it's done. Your brain will make endorphins, which make you feel good. You'll keep yourself going, give yourself energy, and get all of your other work done. When you start and finish your big job first thing in the morning, you'll get twice as much done as any other day. Managing your time will then help you with all of your other tasks. You'll feel great about yourself when you can show every morning that you have the self-control, self-mastery, and self-discipline to start and finish your most important job. What's next? The fourth discipline is strength of character, and it goes back to what we already said. Be brave and force yourself to do what you know you should do. The fear of failing is what I think is the biggest thing that keeps people from being successful. Something is keeping them from making things work. The worry of dropping time, cash, or feelings. My fear goes back to when I was a little kid. We can only be successful if we get over this fear. This fear is shown by the words, I can't. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? 80% of people can't do anything because they're afraid of messing up. Additionally, why? You don't like the way it feels to make so many mistakes as a child. Eventually, this makes you not want to take any risks at all. You need to get past this in order to reach your full ability. One thing we do know is that having the confidence to face our fears is a habit and practice, just like learning to type on a computer or ride a bike. Instead of just being brave when you need to be, you can make being brave a habit. This is something that Aristotle wrote about in 350 BC in his book Nicomachean Ethics. The philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "Do the thing you fear, and the death of fear is certain." This means to face your fears. People naturally try to stay away from things that make them scared. We seem to have most of our fear issues when we're around other people. By the way, it's facing a boss, a bad relationship, or even a client. Sometimes it's cold calling, going out and calling on people and facing rejection, failure, embarrassment, and other things. But instead of running away from your fear, face it and do it. So you want to face your fears not because of the event itself, but because of what it does for you as a person. To show yourself that you can face your fears, you have to look them straight in the eye. Then, to your surprise, the fear goes away, and you understand it was all in your head. Now, this is the best thing about getting over your fears. In the event that your fear of failing is summed up by the phrase, "I can't," scientists have found that you can get past that fear by telling yourself over and over, "I can do it." For example, if you're scared of talking to someone, facing someone, or dealing with something, tell yourself over and over, "I can do it." Then do it, and you'll be amazed at how quickly the fear goes away. It does look like poof, but it's gone. As you look at the phone to make a cold call to a client, just tell yourself, "I could do it, I could do it, I can do it." Then pick up the phone and dial, and all of a sudden, the fear goes away. If you do this over and over, you'll finally form the habit of being brave. Here is a task for you. Pick one thing that makes you afraid in your life right now and use that as your challenge. Consider that your test case. I'm going to face this fear down. I'm going to hammer it. I'm going to smash it. I'm going to look it right in the eye. I'm going to deal with it direct, head on, like a car hitting a wall, until the fear is gone. And when you do that, you'll look up and be a different person for the rest of your life. It will be clear to you that your fears can't stop you. The fifth rule is having good habits for health. Your aim should be to stay healthy and live to be 100 years old. Today, the average American life expectancy is getting close to 80 years old. This means that 50% of people will die before that age, and 50% will die after that age. Your knowledge or intelligence is higher than the average, so you'll probably beat that average and live to be 90, 95, or 100 years old. Your goal should be to live to be 100 and be in great shape. Then you should ask yourself, what would I have to do? What kind of shape would I have to be? And what kind of life would I have to live physically in order to get there? This is the first step. How would your body look if it was perfect in every way? What would it look like if it was perfect in terms of weight, health, tone, stretch, flexibility, and everything else? Create a list of everything. Remember how great your body was when you were a kid. Don't worry about your body not being perfect right now. It just means you forgot to do some things or did some things you shouldn't have. To begin, make a clear picture of your ideal body and believe that you can achieve it. There is a 5-word strategy that has always been the key to good health. Eat less and move more. Lower your calories and work out more. Every person who studies the subject agrees that the best way to be successful is to eat less and work out every day. Make it a habit to work out every day. Unquestionably, morning is the best time. Any kind of exercise, like stretching, going for a walk, riding a life cycle, or walking on a treadmill. If you get up early and work out right away, your body will continue to burn calories all day. You'll be more alert because your brain will have highly oxygenated blood first thing in the morning, and you'll learn the discipline of starting something every day. It's amazing to me how many rich, successful, and well-known business people get up at 5 a.m. and have an hour of exercise. It's truly unbelievable. As you watch them every day, you can see that they get up at 5 or 5:30 and work out for an hour before making plans for the day. That will have a huge effect on your life if you can get yourself to do it. Also, my brain creates endorphins, which make you happy when you work out for 30 to 60 minutes first thing in the morning. They get you really excited. Feel more creative and good about yourself. You will feel more friendly. For example, you're more excited to go to work. Working out in the morning will put your mind and body in great shape. Now, just get rid of the 3 white poisons to lose any extra weight you may have. Things that contain flour are the 3 white poisons. No matter what kind of flour you eat, it makes you fat. The fabric sticks to your stomach, hips, and legs. Get rid of sugar and anything made with sugar. Get rid of sweets. Take away the donuts. Take away soft drinks. Avoid sugary foods. Also get rid of the salt. Ignore the salt. Your actions are full of salt. Some time ago, I saw a friend who had lost 20 pounds. When I looked at him, he was just moving around. In other words, his suit jacket was moving back and forth in the wind, like a tent on a tent peg. I told him, "Wow, you've lost a lot of weight." "How did you do it?" I asked. "I tried everything. I worked out, I walked, I went on diets. I stopped eating anything white," he said. "I stopped eating flour foods, sugar and salt. I lost 22 pounds in 60 days and never gained it back." People from all over the world have told me the same thing. That means you should only eat meats, fruits and veggies, and not any pasta, bread, rolls, cakes or sweets or sodas, cokes or salt. If you can do that, you'll start losing weight right away. Within the first week of not adding salt to anything, some people lose 3 to 4 pounds. Naturally, after that, drink a lot of water. You should drink 8 glasses of water every day. It cleans your body of all the bad things that are in it. Incredibly easy to do. Take in more veggies. Another big secret: don't eat after 6 p.m. Consume little food and eat before 6 p.m. After 6 p.m., everything you eat builds up. Whatever you eat before 6 p.m. will burn off before bed. Don't eat for 3 hours before bed. If you eat a light or medium light dinner salad with some protein before or at 6 p.m., you'll be amazed in the morning. You'll be less fat. It's truly impressive. 2 more things about health. First, make sure you get regular checkups with your doctor and dentist. Medical professionals and patients don't always go to the dentist or doctor when they need to. It seems like a waste of money to me. If you're over 40, you should get a full physical exam every year, and you should see your dentist at least twice a year. It is recommended that you see an orthodontist 4 times a year for cleanings if you are in business of any kind. There is a direct link between having healthy gums and having healthy bones and lips. Remember Michael Jordan's words about self-discipline. Just do it. If you think it's a good idea, do it. Start doing it. Not wasting time. Don't say sorry. Now, the 6th rule is to save and spend money regularly. Being able to support ourselves financially is one of our main goals in life. Bills and debts are one of the things that worry us the most in life. Poverty or running out of money at the end of our lives is what we fear most in life. In other words, starting to take care of your own money changes the way you think about yourself and your life. You're happy after doing it. Make it your goal to be financially free. Decide, by gum, I'm going to become financially independent and I'm going to stay low on debt. People I worked with didn't have any money when I first started. One thing that helped them get their own money was that they didn't like taking out loans, that they didn't like debt. They were fine. Maybe only bills related to their house or car loan would they agree to take on. They still don't like having debt, though. Besides that, they never get into debt. If you want to get and stay out of debt, you have to be strict with yourself. A very smart money manager I know taught me this interesting fact. He said, "When we're young, money makes us feel good. When we get our first pay, we buy candy with it. This makes us think that whenever we have money, we should buy candy or other things that make us feel good. Now that we are adults, the first thing we think about when we get a lot of money is what we can buy that will make us happy. When you go to a tourist town, everyone is on vacation and having a good time. However, there are tons of random items, tools, and junk sitting around every street because people think of shopping when they're happy. But this will keep you broke for the rest of your life. He told me that what you do is rewire yourself. Instead of saying, "I like spending money," you say, "I like saving money." This makes you think about how much you enjoy having money in the bank, saving, delaying gratification, and the idea of becoming financially independent. And once you get into the habit of being glad when you save money, you become more and more careful with your spending. You already know that the best way to become financially independent is to save 10–15% of your income every year. As your income grows, keep saving more and more and investing it. Einstein once said that interest that builds on itself is the strongest force in the world. Putting your money in mutual funds, money market funds, or index funds that you choose wisely and letting it grow over time. Don't worry about the stock market going up and down. The US stock market has grown by an average of 8 to 10% each year over the last 100 years, taking into account both good and bad years. So, it's up to you to save 10–15% of your pay. These days, most people just throw that away because they're in debt. Their mind stops working. So, here's what I suggest. Make it a habit to save 1% of your income. That's $20 saved if you make $2,000 a month. You open a financial freedom account at the bank and put $20 from your first paycheck that month into it. After that, you train yourself to live on the other 99%. As soon as you're used to living on 99%, you raise it to 2%, then 3%, and finally 4%. You'll get into the habit of living on 85 to 90% of your income and saving the rest naturally in a year. You can even have the money taken out of your paycheck so you never see it again. You deposit your salary into the bank, and the amount is put into either your savings or investment account immediately. You soon get into the habit of living on less than you earn, and you stop saying things like, "I enjoy spending," and start saying things like, "I enjoy saving." Delaying and putting off big purchases is a great way to save money. There's a good chance that you won't buy a car, washing machine, radio, or new computer if you think about it for 30 days. If you do decide to buy something, you'll probably make a better choice. Buying used things instead of new ones is one of the best things you can do. You know that rich people don't buy new cars. Millionaires don't buy brand new cars, as Stanley and Danko show in The Millionaire Next Door. Instead, they wait and buy a car that's 2 years old, either because it's coming off lease or because someone is turning it in after 2 years of use. The guarantee still covers the car for 3 years. You can even get longer warranties on many cars, which mean that they'll fix anything that's wrong and give you an extra 5 years on a car that's only 2 years old. What did you do? There's a $10,000 or $20,000 savings on a car. What do you plan to do with that cash? You put it away and let the interest build up over time. Every 5 to 8 years, buy a used car, drive it until it breaks down, and then buy another one. The money you'd save on new cars could make you very wealthy. With compound interest, it can grow into hundreds of thousands of dollars by the time you stop working. Look into something before you invest if you're going to do it. Don't make mistakes, says my friend Ken Fisher of Fisher Investment, which is 2/3 of investment. Don't make the same mistake twice. 2/3 of business and trading success comes from not making decisions too fast or the wrong way. This means that if you want to invest in something, you should take as much time researching it as you did getting the money. When you make a financial choice quickly, you'll always make a bad one. You should only put your money into things you understand. Don't put money into someone else's business, idea, or plan. Put your money into things you know about. Rule number 1. Don't lose money. Don't lose money at all costs. When you do something that could cost you some money, you almost certainly will lose a lot of it. So, watch out. Keep the money you earn. A Japanese saying says, losing money is like pouring water on sand. Making money is like digging in the sand with a pin. It's easy to lose money, but hard to make and keep it. This is the most important subject of all. Another habit is to pay for everything with cash, as often and as much as possible. Only keep one credit card and only use it when you have to. You spend less money when you pay cash because it makes you more aware of how much something costs. W. If you can't save money, the seeds of greatness are not in you, said Clement Stone. The main reason you should carefully collect your money is because it gives you 2 things. To begin with, it frees you. You have cash on hand. You can quit your job if you don't like it because you have money saved up. But the second thing it does is give you chances. You are ready to take advantage of a chance that comes your way. If you say, I'm sorry, I don't have any money, I can't afford it, I'm broke, people will just look at you with sadness and walk away. You should always have chance money saved up as an adult. You feel great about yourself when you have it. A person with some money is very different from someone with no money. When someone has some money, they feel good. When someone doesn't have any money, they always feel bad about themselves, nervous, worried, concerned, restless, and short-tempered. You understand exactly what I mean. He who became a millionaire by working harder than everyone else said, I didn't have better education, talent, or knowledge, but I was willing to work harder than anyone else. That's how most self-made millionaires get known. They work 60 to 70 hours a week for 5 to 10 years. It's just about getting by for most people. Someone asked him. He replied, yes. He told her, I believe in luck. He stated, and the harder I work, the more that I have. That means you get lucky when you work harder. There are more chances for you if you work harder. The more chances you get. You already know that the average work week in the US is 32 hours. By law, people in France work 35 hours a week on average. Then again, most people waste half of their time at work. Robert Half International says that the average person loses half of their time on things like coffee breaks, eating, doing nothing, reading the paper, surfing the web, and other things that don't help them do their job. Here is the rule that will help you be successful, happy, and wealthy. Always work. You're always working. When you go to work, you work. Do your work when you get there. Do something and close your eyes. Do not spend any time. Keep your head down and work all day. Hi, how are you doing? Someone might ask. Okay, but I need to go back to work now, you answer. When you're done, say, yes, but not now. Remember to talk after work. There's always, I need to get back to work. That's something anyone can do. Allow me to leave. Remember that people who lie and talk about unimportant things are the ones who waste your time at work the most. Stay away from these people because they get sick when they talk to other people. Here's how to double your output, speed, and wealth. Start work an hour earlier. If your business opens at 8:30, start at 7:30 or 7. Get up a little early and start moving. Don't forget that all you do is beat the traffic. If you get there early, you can plan your day, get going, get prepared, and start. You are already running when other people come in. Do your work until lunch. There's no law that says you have to kill an hour and a half at lunch. You can eat quickly at your job or on the go. Work during that time. Do not waste that time by waiting. These days, having fun at work is all the rage in America. Work is not a fun time. Work is not a playground or a field. Work isn't school. It's work to do. You always work because you go to work. Do not worry about having fun. Feel good about having fun later because you did a great job and got a lot done. And finally, work in an hour. Leave last. Do what's right and turn off the lights. Interesting, if you look at a business that's being run by someone who's really pushing it forward, the owner is usually the first person there, works all day, and is usually the last person to leave. Most business owners work on Saturday and Sunday. At the end of the day, the business owner has a lovely home on a hill, nice cars, a lovely life, holidays, and a boat in the yacht harbor. Boy, she's sure lucky, everyone says. They're not lucky. They worked all the time. They do the job. You can add 6 hours of useful work to your day if you start 3 hours earlier, work harder, and stay late. Every hour of work that you can do without being stopped by other people is equal to 3 hours of work that you can get done when other people are around. Always ask yourself at work, what is the best thing I can do with my time right now? One small thing at a time, and say, back to work, every time you get off track or want to skip work. The 8th rule is to always learn something new. You should learn more if you want to make more money. Want to make more money than you do now? Then learn new things and get better at the ones you already know. People often say, work at least as hard on yourself as you do on your work. This is taken from Jim Rohn. How do you do this? But you read every day about your field. You can work on your hobby for an hour a day, either in the morning or at night. 7 books a week. A year of reading 50 books is possible if you read one every week. Not a single adult reads a whole book a year, and most of the time they only get to the beginning of history books. That's the same as getting a PhD in your field or reading 50 books a year. Reading every day will help you get better at what you do and make the most money in your area. Play CDs in your car. This is how most people drive for 500 to 1,000 hours a year. That's the same as 3 to 6 months at 40 hours a week. That's the same as going to college full-time for 1 to 2 semesters. I think you are the smartest person in your field if you only listen to CDs that teach in your car. Lastly, if you want to keep learning, go to classes and workshops. Make sure the teachers are experts and leaders in their fields. You could learn a lot on your own for years, but a pro can teach you in an hour or 2. A lot of people get one new idea from my classes that helps them make 30 days of 5 times as much money. They make a lot more money when they learn a new way to find new customers, deal with or get past complaints, close sales, and get leads. They wouldn't have learned it. People I know call or visit me and say, that one idea changed my life. The average American income goes up by 3% every year these days. When you learn new things and get better at the ones you already know, you can make more money faster. Every year, your income will rise by 10% if you learn new things and get better at the ones you already know. Your income will double in 7.2 years. If your income grows by 25% every year, it will double in 2 years and 8 months. This means that learning more will help you make more money. It can change your life to always learn new things. The 9th discipline is to keep going even when things get hard. Now, the discipline of determination says that push yourself to finish all of your chores, even when things get hard. This is the best way to see how disciplined you are. You have self-discipline when you can push yourself to keep going, even when you and everyone else wants to give up. There are 2 parts to being brave, as we often say. Having the guts to start is the first step to being brave. It takes guts to start. Starting something, even though you might fail and can't be sure of success, takes guts. The second part of courage is being able to keep going, even when you're tired, mad, or like nothing is working. You need to be sure of yourself, even though there's no guarantee that you'll succeed, and a very good chance that you won't. That's why it's significant. Lots of people say that how persistent you are shows how much they trust you and your work. This is something you will do no matter what other people say if you truly believe it to be good, right, and valuable. What you do will stay with you longer if you really believe it is good and right. You'll believe in yourself more as you try, which is good news. It seems like you change as a person when you care more about your work. Self-discipline in action is what persistence is all about. How self-disciplined you are is ultimately shown by how long you stick with something. Not being able to control yourself is bad for your self-esteem. When you use self-discipline, you feel better about yourself. This makes you more determined, which makes you even more self-disciplined, and so on. So, this is why Napoleon Hill said that drive is like carbon to steel. It makes people who they are. You do make yourself. You create yourself. You create yourself. You get better and stronger when you don't give up on something, even when you want to. Think, wait a minute, this is a test. Whenever you want to give up, quit, skimp, or stop before you finish your task. I need to show what kind of person I am. This test will show you what kind of person I am. It doesn't matter what I'm working on. What matters is who I am becoming by sticking with it or giving up. This means you should never give up until the job is done. It feels great to finish a task. So, here are 7 reasons why you should be self-disciplined in every part of your life. For starters, being self-disciplined is a habit that will promise your success. Self-discipline is the ability to make yourself do what you need to do, even when you don't feel like it. Persistence and determination are also important traits for success. Second, you'll get more done, faster and better than other people if you are self-disciplined. It will work better for you. You will get more done. You'll be able to do things better. People who can help, support, and move you forward will hear about you. Third, no matter what job you have, you'll get paid more and move up faster. People who are very self-disciplined and get things done are pushed to the front of the line of life right away. The fourth thing is that you'll feel more self-control, independence, and power. That you can make yourself do anything you set your mind to because you have the power to train yourself to do it anyway. Fifth, self-discipline is the key to having high self-esteem, respecting yourself, and being proud of who you are. You'll like yourself more every time you stick to a plan. You feel like a better person every time you follow through with your rules. You feel good about yourself every time you follow through with your plans. For your part, you're proud of yourself. Positive changes happen to your personality because of it. Sixth, the more self-disciplined you are, the more confident you are in yourself, and the less you worry about failing and being rejected. You get so sure of yourself that you can eventually walk through walls. Seventh, if you have self-discipline, you'll have the character strength to keep going, even when things get hard, until you win. Self-discipline helps you become a great person.